Yo, greetings everybody. We are back online. This is Wesley. Welcome to the Art Lexcia podcast, and welcome to episode 193. Closing in on the 200th episode. Yeah. Lots. If you're based in South Africa, lots happening in the world right now. But we're not gonna get into that. I do have one or two other notices, but I think I'll do that all via social media. So check out. And if you don't know, man, my pages are I'm on Facebook, so that's the Art Lexcia on Facebook. And then you can check out all my other handles on Threads at Wesley Pepper. I don't do Twitter anymore, so you'll never find me there. And LinkedIn, there we go. There's the other one. But anyway, enough of that, man. Let's get straight into it. Ben Tuge, my brother, he's actually from Zim, based in Joburg, but now he's finds himself in Austria. He's doing a real cool residency over there. My brother, is it good? Is it first of all, is it morning that side? What's the time where you are right now?
Well, thank you so much for the invitation, Wesley, my brother. Yeah, I really appreciate. Yeah. So the weather here is it's actually so cool outside. I mean, if I can show you the view, because in my studio here there is a bed view. Um, can I show you? So you can probably see what's really. You can see that it's sunny and it's cloudy. So this is my studio. So yeah, the weather is actually quite cool. I spoke to my wife this morning. She's in Joburg. She told me it's freezing there in Joburg.
So there's a bit of a delay, a little bit there in broadcast.
Okay.
But I reckon, let's just go with it, man. Maybe it'll work its way out because there's also a bit of a rainstorm
Okay.
here right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
I'm not using the fiber, the internet fiber. For
Okay.
I find enough because the fiber doesn't actually work very well, which is crazy. But anyway, Ben, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about the residency. Where exactly in Austria are you? What's the residency about, and how long will you be there for?
Yeah. So this is artist residency in Austria. Like I said, that's started beginning of June. Yeah. So it's gonna run until um, July 2025. So for 2 months, artist residency. This is Schutz Museum, one of the most prestigious museums in Europe. So I was invited here for my 2 months residency. Obviously, doing my sculptures, as you can see in my background there, my work. There's some of my works that are already started. So it's a process. It's probably just to tell my stories, as you can, imagine. My artworks. I mean, I tell stories of humanity, spiritual, through my sculptures. Yeah. So that's pretty much what's all about here, and that's what I'm doing here in Austria.
Lekker man. Ben, let's you primarily a sculptor. You work primarily in wood, but I know you also do bronze casting and so forth. Let's just start just by explaining to my listeners a little bit about your the background, specifically in sculpture, and why wood, why those materials. Just so we can get understanding where the I guess where the art comes from.
Sure, man. Yeah, back in the days when I was, a little boy, I remember I did a sculpture of a crocodile uh, out of soapstone. So the background of my art started when I was a little boy in the, five, six, seven, somewhere there. And I used to love drawing in the sand, like boys herding cattle you just
Yeah.
find yourself sometimes doing these things as a matter of interest. But I used to love drawing in the sense. That's something that I used to love. And
Ben, could you
then
just sorry, my brother, could you
yeah,
just give me 1 second?
okay.
There's the line, the connection is.
Yeah, I can see there.
Let's just continue.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the connection will get better
Okay.
as we proceed. But
Yeah.
you're explaining like working with soapstone as a kid.
Yes. So I did. I did that sculpture. I think it was 1970. If not 75, if not 1975, I did that sculpture. I still remember it. But yeah. uh,
It's a long time
so
ago.
yeah, a long time ago, 1975. So I still remember that sculpture, and unfortunately, although I did understand the meaning of it, but I didn't understand the importance of keeping it until today. I would have loved to do that, but then, long story short, so I then developed that interest of creating art out of wood, but I didn't know what to use, tools to use, because you can imagine soapstone. You can use, it's a soft stone, that you
Mm,
can use. We used to just hit, nails, sharpen them to make them look like tools,
mm.
and they were actually tools that we used back then. So my brother, my elder brother, is also an artist. He was training at different training mission in Zimbabwe. So it's a missional art school. So I also developed that interest and showed that I had a talent even from school. As I was going to school, I used to be, we used to just carry on making uh, different things like animals out of soapstone with my friends. So that talent grew from there,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
Sorry, my brother. The line is breaking up a bit much here, man.
Yeah, I
Is
see.
there possible you could connect to another Wi-Fi? Is there another connection you could potentially use?
And I mean, I'm using this one. That's the only one that I'm using. It's in my studio, and that's the one that I always use. I don't know whether there's a connection here or a problem, or your side.
Is my sound and audio coming through fine on your side?
Yeah, from my side, sound. Only I mean the visuals, they're not as great, but I can see you, but I can hear you very well. There's
Yeah,
yeah.
man, because it's um yeah, because the
I
connection
don't
is
know. I don't know.
the connection. But let's just continue, man. Maybe, like I said, maybe it'll just work its way out. But anyway, not to just to come in there. The thing with the soapstone.
Yes.
Yeah, as you say, it's one of the softest. It's also got a nice got a nice texture to it. Is there an abundance of soapstone in Zimbabwe, which is why so many sculptures outside use it? And if so, like, where do you guys get the stone? Is there a quarry somewhere, or
I can
how
tell
does
you.
that, or is it only regional, or how does that work?
I can tell you, my brother Wesley. Soapstone in Zimbabwe, we have got mountains of soapstone. So it's probably gonna be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, to come, of generations, using that substance. It's plenty. It's an abundance. So every artist actually starts
Yeah.
by working in substance, because it's very soft, very, 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 very soft, and the texture, it gives you a little bit of play. It allows you to play with it.
Yeah.
So that's why most artists in Zimbabwe, they start working on or doing sculptures on substance.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. And like you say, it's if it's it has this beautiful marbling effect. And just to my listeners from outside of Southern Africa, those sculptures are
Yes.
everywhere. You can find them almost in every street corner. It's there's an absolute abundance of that.
Yes.
But let's just move forward, my brother. So you were saying I mean, you've been in South Africa also for a while now. In fact, that's how we met. Can you just tell us about moving from Zim to SA? But not for the. I'm not, not really concerned about the actual moving. I'm talking more about the art. So why move from Zim to South Africa? Because I know you've been involved with it, and I want to get to that. You've been involved with the Art Eye Gallery for a while, as long as I know you, actually. Um, and yeah, so yeah, just talk about the move from Zim to Joburg and the relationship with the gallery.
Yes, my brother. So I actually had to move from Zimbabwe. That was 2005. And then when I got to South Africa, I then, as a new artist in the country, I had to display uh, my works on the street in Blackgowrie.
Mm,
That was 2005. But then on the street there, I met a lady by the name Greta Kodia. She
mm,
she saw my works on the street and she said, no, 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 no. I'm not going to buy any of your works here. But what I would like to do is to introduce you to the people that you don't deserve to be. Your work does not deserve to be on the street. You are actually supposed to showcase it in galleries, in markets. So she's the lady that I actually met in Blackgowrie. That was in 2005. And she introduced me to Everett Gallery. I then started a relationship with Everett Gallery during the time of Mary Jane Darrow. And yeah, so my work developed from there, moving from more traditional to more contemporary, and yeah.
mm. Interesting. Super interesting. I didn't know that. I know that it's a it's a bit of a risk to do that because not everybody. Uh, just for my listeners, you got these major intersections in Gauteng. Like there's hundreds of thousands of cars riding past there an hour. So to get noticed there, it
Yeah.
takes yeah, it doesn't happen often. And the galleries that also sign you also major galleries. So just explain to us like the how did your work then develop? Because um just my observation about a lot of Zimbabwean especially sculptors. um there's a lot of I always got like a real sense of a lot of the work as was influenced either by nature or their personal, or rather can I say their um, perception or how they observe nature. Not many sculptures I've seen as a very strong political, social, political element to it. But there was also also what I've noticed over time. It's almost as if there's a specific style, especially the way they elongate figures. The actual shape, a lot of the negative space between the sculptures. It's almost. I always sometimes get a feel as if there's some form of a zeitgeist um, between between a lot of sculptures. So just explain to us a little bit about the process, about the about the work that you the themes that you are working on.
So actually, I think thank you so much. I think it's very interesting you ask that question, and indeed, there is a temptation to meet so many artists, of which so many of us we end up just following what we believe probably sells, without having to put your effort in it. What do I
Yeah,
mean by
good
effort?
point.
I mean in terms of standing out, um, because I mean that's the beauty of art, was one is to stand out. So in
Mm.
my career, I actually did not follow that. Not because uh, I don't respect their craft, but it is simply because I believed if I stand out, then it really makes a great sense for one to be able to explain and understand the uniqueness in art, in style and the themes and the storytelling, which is what I have developed over the years. It wasn't easy, when
Mm.
you are surrounded by people of the same culture, you know, systems and the way of thinking, and you want to stand out from the crowd. It's not easy. You have got to fight very hard. It took me so many years, I'm sure over 20, 30
Mm.
years, moving away from a style that is known to be that of Zimbabwean stone sculptures. I moved on.
Mm.
I tried to shape my own, style, which is what I'm proud of, which is what I'm currently doing, and I'm very comfortable. Um, it's more like discovering more and more, which was more of a challenge. I actually wanted to challenge myself to say no. I might be comfortable in doing almost everything that everybody's doing. I pick a stone, I just make something that is flawless. You can tell there are similarities in the style
Mm.
and even themes, but at the end of the day, it's Zimbabwe stone sculpture, which is known all over the world. That I'm also
Mm.
proud of. But I really wanted to find
Interesting, man.
ways.
Interesting. Just a few. Interesting there. Just to highlight a fact a point that I think that is worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually cuts across a lot of art, and I'm you aware of that. That every artist needs a technique or something that stands out, but at the same time, you still need to sell. So to find that line can take years, and in some cases, well, years. It can take years, and also you also need your technique needs to be natural. So it should come organically, because if you're gonna keep trying to sample from somebody else's work, that can be a problem, a long-term issue. So I just want to highlight the fact that in sort of working in your or trying to find your own voice, if you already side to a gallery, that makes it a bit more easier, because there's a bit of protection and mentorship, especially, and I know that can go a very long way. But just try to explain, like, what type of style um yeah resonated with you. How did that come to being, and can you just try to explain to us what that technique is?
Yeah, it really involves a lot of um, it's more imaginary with a bit of thin figurines that has expressive movement, but also I got a little bit of a natural, influence from the likes of, Lucas Sistole, his style. He is a great, great, great influence in my work, which is what I respect. But at the same time, you just find sometimes when I'm working, I used to, work with probably 4, 5, or even 10 chisels, changing, taking this one and take you that one and put this one back and then this. But currently, I can tell you, over the years and that practice, and it's I'm now using probably if I use 2 chisels, that's maximum. My work is probably I can only use one chisel and a mallet. That's it. And I don't because we used to, like you use a chisel or maybe an X. After an X, you go to an adds. After an adds, then you take a chisel, different sizes, and then at the end of the day, you probably would have used more than 10, 15 tools, different of them. So that process alone, on its own, teaches you to understand what is it that makes you feel comfortable and that makes you, because at the end of the day, you'll find that it's not only about many tools, especially in my technique, it's not about many tools, it's about just few tools, 1 or 2 tools. Then I'm good to go, because what I want to do is to be able to see what I've created, what is the story behind the sculpture that I would have created. So the technique, I mean, it's like I said, it actually took me so many years to be able to master it. So I now, if I create a piece, or if I see a piece in my head and I see it in a piece of wood, I want to see it immediate. I don't want to take like 2-3 days working on it. I can tell you, I used to take like 2 or 3 weeks or a month on a piece. Sometimes it doesn't come out the way I want, but right now, even 2 hours, I'm done because of that experience.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
remember. I remember you explained that to me. Actually, I've seen you work. You work very fast. But also, I've noticed with you actually working, there's a rhythm there. There's a rhythm and there's a confidence behind it, and it is almost as if there's a just to my international listeners, in Africa, I like to believe that artists are very in touch with themselves, nature and so forth. So everything here works towards a rhythm. So if the heartbeat is beating at a certain pace, it is very easy to sort of translate it. And you think of people like performing artists, musicians, and dancers and so forth. But like Ben, with you working, there was this real rhythm. It almost gave me a sense that your tools are just extensions, maybe, of your fingers, um, and the wood could, you know, it was just a very, very smooth kind of process, and just to highlight that thing again, and this is just for listeners and so forth. um, that type of skill takes years and years and years and years to perfect, and it's very beautiful to watch. I actually want to wanna ask you on that, Ben, because I know like in your studio you get a lot of and now you in Europe. Are Europeans fascinated behind that? Do they like to see you work?
Really, it's amazing, and thanks for asking that question, because already, you know, what I also discovered is within me. I think the first thing that I do is to love the very same work that I would have loved someone to look at. And if I don't have any doubt, or the fact that I just, you know, feel so much attached to that piece of art, then obviously the viewer would be very much interested. The works that I do not feel, that I do not strongly like, I have discovered that many people will agree with me, even if I do not share with me that this work I don't strongly feel it. But I'm interested here in Europe. Everyone who walks in here, they are so excited. They are actually, you know, I mean, it's not about beating up my chest, like saying, "Ah, well, I'm the man." No, I'm not trying to say that, but it's just that I share the same feeling. I love my work. So, yeah, so many people here who are coming, who've been visiting since I came, they agree with me, and I also agree with them. Yes, so yeah, they really, really like my work here.
Ben, again, man, the line is a bit scratching, yeah, man. So, I'm
Yeah,
actually thinking
yes,
of a potential solution. I'm thinking we can talk for about another 10 minutes or so,
yeah,
and then we could potentially see if we could do another follow up, later on in the week or even in next week. But before we get to
yes,
that, um, just to bring it back to the actual technique, one of the things that I'm personally invested in, this is as an entrepreneur, not just as an artist, is to document artist processes, and to try to get people, and I'm talking like people as in like new markets, more involved in trying to understand and watching artists work. I think that is such an important part of the art ecosystem, because I think it also educates people in terms of like how the artist actually works, so they can appreciate the actual final product. And I think it also gives people insight into how creativity works, because normally creativity or actual working is, is done almost outside of the public eye. And I think there's many valid reasons for that. On my side, I don't like people to breathe over me or to stand and look at me while I'm working. I don't like that. But I know other artists don't mind, and that's fine as well. But I just think that the actual working or the creating of the artwork could also potentially add value to the art, and also facilitate in the economics of it, selling it and so forth. Whereas if you see how something is made, you potentially have more. You are more invested. You feel like somehow you are part of the technique. You're part of the creating process, and you get that with a lot of other professions. For example, if a mechanic is cleaning, checking your oil or something, and the opener, and you're watching him work there, you feel that you understand what he's doing. So if the car works, you say, "Oh, okay, I can see this and this and this," and I think it a similar process applies to the arts. So just to add on that sort of fascination by Europeans, is it a are they how can I say, are they very involved? Are they do you find that in them watching your work, does it inspire them to buy more? Do you find that that they if they saw your work, a standalone sculpture, say on one day, and now they saw you actually making it. Do you think that changes how they view the work? Do you think that makes a has some form of impact in that?
Yes, I think what's interesting in the creative process, of every artist, we differ. It's not always as much as we probably do something that's, this is sculpture, this painting, but you find that sometimes there is a time where I feel I do not need anyone next near me. I mean, watching me work. Probably it's just that since I also discovered that this is a calling, there is a certain time when I feel I just want to be myself, doing what I do until I am done, until I'm satisfied. Then I can entertain guests. But in terms of people walking in, buying work and all that, I mean that's something that is completely different, because for me, I would have loved, every piece that I make, to be, sold out, and then I walk to the bank with huge, you know, I mean, you know, bags with a wallet that has money and all that. It's something that is everyone. I mean, every artist wants. I mean, to have, but it's
Hmm.
for me, it's the appreciation that is more valuable. The appreciation, it's actually more
That's an
valuable.
interesting
It
point.
gives me hope.
That's a very sobering, mature, and interesting point. That once I appreciated the work, that it actually changes. That's a yeah. I can relate to that. I can totally relate to that.
It
Ben, let's just sort of wrap up here, man, because I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to work on this. I'll be working on this episode today, and
okay.
I'll be communicating with you with regard to that, because I very much want us to. We were talking about your actual process, man. I would very much like us to see if we can maybe capture some of that, um,
Yes. It,
and maybe actually talk to the actual work itself. But I think the connection is going to make it a bit of a problem.
yes.
So let's just sort of wrap up with regards to the residency. Um, is this your first residency in Europe? So that's the first question, and the second one will be what happens after it. So when you come back to SA, or rather, it's a three-part question. Because I think the second one is just as important. So is it your first one in Europe? Secondly, are you producing a body of work for a show or whatever? And then what happens when you get back to SA? How does that work?
Thank you so much, Wesley. Thank you. I really, I've never imagined, but that probably one day I'll be invited to such a, like I said, prestigious, one of the, famous, uh, museums in Europe. So, and yes, it is my first time. So yes, I'm producing a board of works.
Big up, Sven.
There will
Much
be an
love to that, my
exhibition
brother.
towards the end of July, towards the end of my residency, which is July. When I get back to South
Mm.
Africa, I will carry on, my man. I will carry on. Possibly there might be another residence as well. I'm not so sure yet, but yes, um, I'm excited, and are really having be invited to your podcast as well. It's something that I really also appreciate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. It's interesting. It's I also find that and sort of this is just me. I like to, when I have a guest on here, I like to celebrate the artist as well. Uh, in sport. towards the end of a season, they'll have an award that is nominated by the actual players and coaches, and most of the sportsmen regard that as the highest award, to be recognized by your peers. And I think in the arts we need more of that. I have a evil plan where you have like an annual award that artists give out to other awards. Artists give to other artists, just to recognize, because one artist knows what
Yeah.
the other one is going through. They know it's
Yeah.
almost we know, we just know. So with that in mind, to have been in the game as long as it, in the early on, you were talking about 1975. I always find it rare that people are older than me. I sometimes feel I'm the oldest person in the world, but 1975 is older than what I am. And so to be doing that now, and to be in such a prestigious exhibition is fantastic. It gives people like me and others, that success is around the corner, so to speak. And I know this will probably do wonders for your career. You'll probably be invited to more shows, and maybe a biennale or two. And I'm sure getting back, if you're working on a show, whether it be at art gallery or wherever, it'll, the turnout and the hype will be much bigger. That's just how the industry works. So much love to that, man. Like all the best to that. Sort of in wrapping up, my brother. Like I said, I'm gonna work on this episode now today, and I will communicate with you with regards to because we had about issues with sound and this and that, and then it'll be great if we can do a even a shorter one, just on where we focus just solely on the work, on the art itself, and yeah, man. There's a few other things I feel like I want to mention, but I'm thinking let me just chill, because I can communicate that with you
Yeah.
privately, as well. So
So,
just a few closing words on your side.
yes. Thank you, thank you for the invitation. Yes, indeed. But I really would have, done injustice if I do not mention Art Eye Gallery. Art Eye Gallery, look, man, long stories. Long story. I can tell you, my brother, you can't just be an artist without the backing of, other.
Ben, enjoy the rest of the day, my brother. It's freezing in South Africa. It's freezing. We're having a huge cold front here, and they could actually be snow. Imagine they're actually forecasting snow for later in the week. So enjoy well, you say it's very lovely there. So enjoy the nice beer, and everything else that all the other fun tourism things. I'll definitely be in touch via WhatsApp, my brother, and if yeah, I'll let you know when I publish this episode as well. All right, King. Take care, man. Bye bye.